the whole Zionist concept, again, it's a settler colonial project that has worked immensely well for them, immensely well. Basically an ATM open for business 24/7. And you better believe that people that already have narcissistic personality disorder, believing that they are the chosen people, will automatically revert to this idea of, well, what could we do to convince you're anti-Semitic, you're trying to kill. But people are seeing through it now. That's why Lincoln was always right when he said, you can fool some of the people all the time. You can fool all the people some of the time. You can't fool all the people all of the time. And that's basically where we are. They've repeated themselves over and over again to the point at which now everyone's saying, you know what, I'm not buying this anymore. And now they don't know what to do.
And more people are awakening. You know, it's like a wave that is taking somehow the whole world. You know, it's like a process for people to awaken and awake. I mean, there were many people before me, and then I've seen like more people awakening after me, because for me it was also a process, you know. Well, so yeah, I mean, we are getting through all that Zionist bullshit that we already know that is not true.
Yes.
Well, we have a theory. I mean, I don't want to specifically single out, even though I think he's as detestable as any Israeli that's ever walked this earth, in Itamar Ben Gvir. And of course, this is somebody who gleefully admits that he's a genocidal mass murderer. He does not hide it. He is very proud of it. He has birthday cakes presented with nooses on them, was celebrating when it became legal to execute Palestinians in the court of law, of course, but you know, we know how courts work. And so he ended up getting caught on camera doing this little doozy the other day with the Flotilla, the latest group of the Flotilla prisoners, and this is what he was up to.
באו עם הרבה גאווה כגיבורים גדולים. תראי איך הם נראים עכשיו, תסתכלי. תראי איך הם נראים עכשיו. לא גיבורים ולא כלום, תומכי טרור. אני אומר לראש הממשלה נתניהו, תן לי אותם לעוד הרבה זמן. תן לנו אותם בבתי הכלא של המחבלים, ככה זה צריך להיראות.
And you, Peter, think that somehow him being like tried or executed would be a sufficient thing?
No, I think he needs
that's sufficient. I don't find that sufficient at all.
No, so. he needs the what does he need? He needs the booba. Basically, he needs to be put into like a casket and filled with all types of flesh-eating bugs. You know, things like that.
Okay, well, that's fun. I am a very firm believer that people should get what they want for the people, how they treat the people that they are in charge of, right? So all those things that have happened that we've been watching, those are, and I'm not going to say it because, you know, we're already shadow banned, but those are the things that I want to happen to him, short of involving animals in the mix, because that's animal abuse. But yeah, like I think some people need to have, you know, to realize that the suffering and what that's like and feel that. I do.
There's one more small clip to play that's a part of this scene that, again, he's now getting called out for.
I'm angry that I feel this way. I'm angry that somebody makes me feel this way. I am unarmed. Like, I am not a violent person. But
there's a reason why Israelis are regarded as the worst terrorists in the world by far, because this is what they do. They want you to hate them. That's part of their modus operandi as well. They want you to hate them.
Free Palestine!
Check it.
Check it, asshole.
ברוכים הבאים לישראל, אנחנו בעלי הבית. ככה צריך. עם ישראל חי. עם ישראל חי. כן.
זיכוי, כל המטרה כאן זה לראות שאין אנשים בתהליך.
לא להתרגש מהצעקות שלהם, לא להתרגש.
Let me be very clear, okay? Everything that everybody just saw, that is all evidence of crime.
Against
those are international crimes. Those are people that were kidnapped in international waters and are being held hostage by a rogue genocidal regime. So what that is that's the stuff that's going to this will ultimately be used when there are people held accountable, if there are people held accountable, because that's a crime right there.
So, I mean, listen, if Haaretz is coming out saying flotilla activists testified to physical abuse in Israeli detention, and again, you know that Haaretz may not be as bad as the Jerusalem Post, but for them to even acknowledge something like this just goes to show you that the crimes against humanity that have been perpetrated on this particular group of the flotilla it is probably vile beyond words. Like
I think it's always been bad. What they did to Chris Smalls was horrible. This is how they are. And quite honestly, like other people like Tiago Avila said, is whatever they went through pales in comparison to what the Palestinian hostages go through on the regular basis, because they have like 10,000 of them.
Correct.
Yeah.
And is there threats of violence against Costa Ricans when they stand up to the Israelis in these areas? My guess is that the Israelis feel emboldened enough to basically tell them, you'll do as we say or you'll have lots of trouble.
When we did this protest by the beach, that they called the police, because they were expecting that the Costa Rican police remove the Costa Rican citizens from a public space, and not to protest against Israel. One of these Zios came to me and he told me, I'm going to look for you and I will find you. And I'm here. I'm here. I mean, it's like, I haven't received any specifically like a threat, like a death threat or something like that. Just a lot of insults, to my face, which I really don't care much. I'm not very much triggered about that. And some like private messages on Facebook and Instagram, like, you are an asshole and blah, 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 fuck you. I really don't care much, but fortunately, not yet anything serious yet. Let's see how it goes. Yeah.
Katherine, what happened with that? You're trying to get them to divest. I mean, you're obviously having, the Costa Rican government obviously has its own connections with the Zio state. All countries seem to. So what happened with that? Because, that's inevitably how it needs to go, is every country needs to do that. And that's
unfortunately, unfortunately, I don't know if you're aware, but there's a new president now who was recently inaugurated about a week ago, Laura Fernandez, and she's a continuation of the right-wing government that was previous before Rodrigo Chavez. And for the inauguration, Isaac Herzog came to anoint this new president, which is, all sorts of obscene. And so in the stadium, there were very few spectators, and they forced the university students to come to be, to fill the seats. There were some photographs that I saw from there that were, just kind of like mind-boggling. Costa Ricans with Trump hats, Costa Ricans with Dixie Confederate flags and American flags. At the same time, those students who wanted to enter with Palestinian flags were banned from entering with Palestinian flags. So there is like the same like repression that we see in other places, but not with the same sort of like brutality, I would say, because the brutality that we've seen in Germany, for instance, or the United States is way worse. And Costa Rica, the Costa Rican police haven't really reached that level yet, but the government is very, very far right, and it's disturbing.
Yeah, it's probably like kind of the beginning of that. It's a small and quiet process, happening. So yeah, this government and the previous one absolutely 100% align with the Zionist agenda, pro-Israel. I don't know, Manuel Tovar, he's a minister. I don't know. I don't remember the ministry, but he was a minister in the previous government, and now he's the minister in this in this new government as well. And he said, like, we want Costa Rica to be a mirror of Israel. He said that. It was a declaration that came out from his mouth so proudly. We want Costa Rica to be a mirror of Israel. They were talking about the free trade agreement that they are pushing. You know, it's like there is a whole bowing. You know, like, oh, you know, it's terrible. It's terrible.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, and I would like to add too that it's even more obscene because Costa Rica is a country that's demilitarized. There is no army here, you know? So for Minister of Costa Rica to say we want to mimic, you know, the state of Israel is just so obscene. So obscene. And all of the values of, you know, supposed peace that everybody here is raised on.
Yeah.
Well, who would be their group that they would oppress and put in a concentration camp? Is there like, what does that mean? We want our, one of the reasons I love Costa Rica is that there is no military. Like, that's one of the key things to me, is knowing that my tax dollars aren't going to kill people in other countries, that's not my where I live is not about world domination.
Well, it's difficult to visualize, you know, like what these people are visioning in their minds for Costa Rica, you know, regarding to this love for Israel. You know, for now, we know that it's about the free trade agreement that they are selling, like, oh, you know, like the pineapple, Costa Rican pineapple and the coffee, we will export it to Israel, and then they will import their technology because they are a super technological power in the world, blah, blah, blah. But it's obviously, it goes in a different direction. It's more like they want Costa Rica to be a platform for all their security and military technology to come here and then spread it, you know, to the rest of Latin America.
Oh.
Something similar and even worse is happening right now in Honduras. I don't know if you heard about the Honduras Gate.
Yes.
It's horrible. It's terrible, you know. I think that's kind of even worse than what is happening here. So in concrete and practical terms, it's difficult to imagine what they are planning. But obviously, just having here Isaac Herzog as you know, to be invited here.
Yeah, why?
It tells you a lot. It tells you a lot. You know, like, basically, yeah. I mean, it's obvious.
So you guys need your revolution too. You guys need your leftists to rise up and not tolerate that shit too. Revolution is global.
Forget leftists. This is the haves versus the have-nots. That's what this is.
The working people. The working people.
There are some right-wing people that are also against this, but mostly we can say that left wing. But
eventually they'll come for everybody, and that's why.
Yeah, I hope that too.
One of the story that I did want to cover with you guys is obviously what went down in San Diego a couple of days ago, the shooting up of this mosque, and the way that the American media has covered it, which is not surprising to anybody, is basically not cover it at all and pretend like this is not happening, even though the violent rhetoric that has been thrown in their direction, particularly by the likes of a particular Zio scum in South Florida that Jen would like to rearrange her already rearranged face. That, of course, is Laura Loomer. The violence that has been done in the name of Zionism knows no end. But I want to show you guys this one clip from Mayor Gloria of San Diego. When we talk about the elected officials like in Costa Rica who want to do their pomp and circumstance with, you know, President Herzog, this is an example of somebody who basically spewed nonstop hateful rhetoric in the direction of Muslims, basically saying that they're inhuman scum, that the Jews are under attack and that we have to protect them. And this is what happened at his press conference yesterday.
Thank you.
Fucking direct result of your leadership! Your leadership! Our Muslim brothers and sisters have been talking to you for how long? You have to fucking listen to them, Todd. lies, rolled in Zionist propaganda,
speak.
and you'll keep doing it as long as it lines your fucking pockets, won't it? Show something. Worse approval rating than a fascist dictator with shit in his pants.
That's hard to do, Todd. Look at his face.
Oh my God.
Look at this small. Guys, I'm sorry that you're here for this. I don't normally with guests, but I am sorry. You guys, let me begin to explain to you. This man in this picture knows that he's shit. That's a man who he knows.
He also knows that whatever political ambitions he may have had to run, whether it is for Congress, governor, senator of California, that's over now.
It ain't happening, Todd. Or let it finish. He's okay. He's pathetic. I don't know. Had you guys seen that?
Yeah.
Press?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, good grief.
But this is an example, and this is why we hold people that are very juxtaposed on a number of political issues, but have that revolutionary spirit nonetheless in Congressman Thomas Massie and Mayor Zoran Mamdani. When you have the courage of your convictions and you are willing to basically be a martyr by standing up for what is right. Like I said, Massie just got politically martyred for his conviction on not supporting Israel and exposing the corruption within the Epstein files, that is the Zionist entity within itself. And then you take somebody like Zoran, who is now messing with the business contracts with Israel in New York City. Like, that's grounds for assassination. Like, that's how serious this is. And so when somebody like Mayor Gloria is on the opposite end of the spectrum, like we see all over the United States and in Costa Rica, where their attitude is, maybe I don't fully agree with all this, but I know it'll be good for my career if I just go along with what the Zionists want. And now what you're discovering is that going along with the Zionists may not be the best move in the world anymore. And hopefully there will be many political heads that now start to roll, and his happens to be one.